I get asked a lot on how to draw hands. I draw hands a lot on my Instagram. I always post hands. Hands are the most, or one of the most, to me, the most important thing that you need to know how to draw as an artist. We speak with our hands, emotions come from our hands. It's just something that needs to be dealt with. You need to draw hands. Stop hiding them behind shields and behind the back and kind of in the hair and stuff like that. Draw hands and draw a lot. You will get better. So with that said, with this video I want to go over how I draw hands. Let's get into these hands. I know the video just claimed I was going to do hands, but I think I'm going to make this into a series, anatomy series. So we'll start with hands and then probably do feet next week, the head the week after, and then I'm thinking maybe torso or something, I don't know, but it'll definitely be hands, feet, and head. So again, this is just for me on how I do hands. Hands are always tricky. They've always been tricky for everyone. So I got probably 4 sets of hands up on my screen here in front of me, and I'll just kind of start sketching them out and explaining kind of how I go about it. All right, so one, I always look for shapes. The palm, and then the way the fingers, however they're cocked or whatever shape they're making, I'll go with that as another shape like that here. The thumb kind of makes its own little shape out here, and then I always add the wrist, just part of the wrist, so I can kind of see how big or small the hand should be. I never really go into great detail with my hands unless I'm trying to like make a creepy hand or something, because the more detailed, the more older the hand tends to look. So that's why I don't do a lot of detail when I'm doing hands. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's no rocket science to it. It's just definitely a lot of practice. So again, I start with this shape here, which is the palm of the hand. And then again, you know, I got fingers coming out this way here. You got knuckles and all that stuff. Joints, like here's where you can really screw something up by adding a lot of line work, which again, in my opinion, and this is just how I do it, I don't think it's needed. Knuckles again. So then you got, you know, if you look at your hand, the hand naturally flows in an arc type of, or fingers anyway, in an arc type of movement, meaning like that. And I'll show as I do more hands, I'll try and remember to put that arc so you can see how the fingers, the knuckles, everything flows in that direction. Just got the thumb out here. So I hadn't warmed up, so I'll probably take a little bit for these hands to start looking like real human hands. Right now it's kind of sloppy, but that's another thing. You should always try and warm up a little bit before you start doing any type of artwork. It just helps. It's kind of like lifting weights. You know, you don't just jump in there and start doing heavy weight. You go in there, maybe do some jumping jacks or something, get warmed up. So it's the same with drawing. Warm up a little bit, and then you go for it. Let's see. Again, palm, add a little bit of wrist action. Fingers kind of flow this way, and this one is actually doing something like that. The hand is definitely, you know, there's a lot of tendons and stuff happening here to make your fingers actually do what they're supposed to do. I guess I could look these up at some point and put down, you know, kind of what this is and what that is, but right now we're just drawing them. No need to take a anatomy test or anything. You want to look at certain landmarks too when you're drawing hands or anything in general. Like here's a landmark here. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Here's another little landmark that I like to use all the time. And for hands, landmarks are usually bones. Not muscles in particular, more bone, because that gives the shape of the hand itself. So, and here's that flow again that I was talking about earlier. Let's see if we can get it black here. These knuckles, and then these knuckles here. And if these fingers were extended, it would flow like that as well. Again, here's some landmarks. This is obviously the wrist. Landmark here. There's that landmark again, the knuckle and the wrist. So I look for these landmarks in particular whenever I'm drawing hands. Helps give it shape. And these are just basic generic hands right now, so it's nothing real fancy or anything. Let's see if I can do a hand holding like a rod or something. Flip this over. So you got your pipe, axe handle, whatever. And these are pretty easy because you can kind of cheat a little because the hand is covered and it's behind the object that it's holding. For some things, it might not be easy all the time, but you still got the shape of the palm back here. But you really don't need to do that. You can, again, cheat with the way this is here. And always use reference when doing hands, whether it's your hand or get somebody in the house to hold their hand, hold the object a certain way. Don't try and do hands on your own. You'll fail miserably. And you just want them to look like hands. You don't want them to look like, I don't know, blobs of uncontrolled substance
Um, and then sometimes you can add shadow, you know, a little depth to show, you know, what direction uh, the hand is being curled or the fingers are being curled. For these, you want to add just a little bit of curvature, I guess, to show where it's bending actually. Um, and still, also you got to remember, like, there's some perspective happening, especially when it's holding things. So adding some shadows will help with that. And if you guys got any questions or anything, definitely feel free to, you know, drop them down in the comments below, and I try and get back to everyone that actually leaves a comment or something, something positive, nothing stupid or negative. But you got those people out there, so you know. Let's see, a little pinky down here. It's actually got some meat and stuff happening here, so you want to pay attention to that. It's kind of close to this hand or this finger, so some shading down in here. Let's see. You can always add a little shading here to get a little depth. And again, here's landmark. So I look at my hand to see and make sure kind of where stuff is happening. And so you got the little piece of line work and stuff happening here. And so you can almost imagine the rest of the hand happening here. The palm anyway. So let's see, what can we do? Let's draw another one. Starting to get into the groove of this thing here. And all right, let's do this. We'll draw it step by step here. So palm is number one. And this is for all the cheap seats back out there that didn't. Actually, I'm gonna draw with a pen. Palm shape, we'll just call it that, number one. And kind of same thing, but now you add the other shapes of fingers and thumbs and all that stuff like that. So this was one. Now we have palm shape, finger shapes. So finger shapes. And finger shapes for me are usually just rectangles or boxes or something like that. Kind of just get that in there. And I'll just go ahead and add the wrist. You see me start with some landmarks here. There'll probably be one here. And then let's just put it all together here. We got the palm. kind of going out like that. Little overlapping happening here in this section. And then I usually shape the fingers off a little bit with kind of like a arch point thing here. So it's something kind of like this, just so I can get the shape of the finger. And again, this is just me. You know, I'm sure there's other people out there drawing them different ways, but this is just me. And so yeah, here's the knuckle for the thumb, which is this point. So if you kind of twist your hand, you can see it jot out right there. You can add just a little bit just to give it some shape. And there's another knuckle here. I usually don't do all these knuckles like that, but again, depending on what the hand, what I'm drawing looks like. So this is this part under here that's happening. I usually just use a straight line. Nothing needs to be all, again, defined with me. Just as long as you get the good shape of the hand and it reads well, that's what the main thing is, what you want to go for. Because we talk a lot with our hands, and they're just there, you know, obviously to pick things up and, you know, hey, what's going on, blah blah. And so, you know, they're a huge part in what we do on day-to-day life. So to be an artist, you need to, it's just, there's no other way to put it out there. I mean, you just have to do hands and do them well. Again, get some anatomy books. You can go online. One of the main apps I use as far as doing hands is, and I'll put this in the comments below, is Silver. I can't think of the first name, but you can go on iTunes, or I think it's on Android too. But it's a really good app that the guy, Silver is his last name. He has an app you just kind of download it, pay for, I think it's like $2 or $3. Really good app, and all types of hands and gestures, and he has a male and a female version of that app. So I highly recommend that app. It's just good stuff, good practice when you're Starbucks or just waiting for someone to pick you up and you got your sketchbook. You know, get out there and practice. So yeah, and this is 3. Hand done. It's, again, you just want to keep practicing and practicing and practicing over and over. I used to suck really bad at hands too, so you know, you got to do them. There's no shortcut. There's no way to get around it. You really have to do hands and do them constantly. But I'm running up on 20 minutes. I didn't want this to take that long. So with that said, you know, next week, like I said, we'll probably do feet, and after that we'll do the head, and then we'll, at the same time while we're doing all that stuff, I'll try and talk about proportions. And you know, there's a general rule of thumb with the head. I think it's 8 or 12 or something, so however many heads to a normal sized person, but you don't always have to go by that. Do a lot of life drawings if you can. Again, go online or you know, go to some life drawing classes that are in your area, so you can just get better. That's the whole point. Draw daily, yo. And I appreciate you guys for hanging out and watching. Until next time, peace.